The American dream is something that many people aspire to, but only a few ever really achieve it. It's not because most people are lazy or don't work hard enough, it's because they believe a lie that society has been feeding them for decades. And this lie is especially dangerous if you're over 50. You've likely heard it your entire life, and now, it's time to dismantle it. Most people think that success in America comes down to finding the right opportunity, the perfect job, or the perfect connection. It's like we're all waiting for the universe to hand us that big break. But let me ask you, how many people do you know who got the job, earned the degree, bought the house, and still feel like something's missing? They're still stressed, still struggling, still wondering why their hard work hasn't paid off. Here's the truth: opportunity is not what's holding you back. It's your belief in the lie that success depends on external circumstances. You're not stuck because you lack opportunities, you're stuck because you're waiting. Waiting for permission. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for someone else to say, now you can begin. But what if the breakthrough you're waiting for doesn't come from outside? What if the real change comes from within you? I want to share with you the real reason why most people feel trapped, and how you can break free from it. I once met a man in Texas who was 63 years old. He worked in construction most of his life, but when his company folded, he lost his pension. He told me, "Elon, I feel like I missed my window. It's too late now." But I looked him in the eyes and told him, that's a lie. He wasn't running out of time, he was running out of belief. And belief is something you can change right now. If you're over 50, let me be clear, it's not too late for you. You're not behind. You don't need to start over. You need to stop listening to the voices that tell you it's too late. These are voices that weren't meant to guide your destiny. If you're still breathing, you're still becoming. So let me ask you this: what if everything you've done, everything you've learned, was preparing you for the most productive decade of your life? What if your best work is still ahead of you? The world has conditioned you to think that success is a straight path, and if you miss it at the right time, you're done. But this is not true. The truth is, success isn't about timing, it's about belief. And it's about acting when the world tells you to wait. The lie is that success is out of your reach. The reality is that the only thing holding you back is your belief in this lie. You've got everything you need already. It's time to break free. Once you realize that your beliefs are the only thing standing in your way, the next step is understanding how to break through the invisible wall that holds most people back. This wall is not physical, it's psychological. It's built out of 3 key elements: doubt, delay, and disqualification. Let's start with doubt, the voice inside your head that tells you it's too late, that you're not good enough, or that success is only for the lucky few. Everyone hears this voice. It's the voice that whispers, maybe I'm too old, or what if I fail? It's a voice that tries to keep you safe, but also keeps you stuck. Then comes delay. This is the belief that now is not the right time. Maybe I'll start next year when I have more money, or when the economy improves, then I'll take the leap. Sound familiar? Delay is just a way of avoiding action because you're afraid of failure, or worse, afraid of success. But success will never come at the perfect time. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of procrastination. And then, we have disqualification. This is the whisper that says, "Who do you think you are?" It's the voice that makes you feel like an imposter, as though you don't deserve to succeed. This voice is particularly strong for people who have experienced setbacks or failures. But let me tell you this: your mistakes do not define you. Your potential does. When you hear these voices, it's important to remember that they're not the truth. These voices are programming. They are the result of a lifetime of conditioning. Society has taught us that success only belongs to the young, the connected, the lucky, but the reality is, the most successful people in America are those who are able to push past these voices and build something meaningful, no matter their age. I once met a man named John in Ohio. He was 58 years old and had been forced to close his business during the economic downturn. Now, he worked stocking shelves at night and felt like he had lost his purpose. But when I spoke to him, I told him something crucial: "John, your opportunity is not gone. It's buried under disappointment, but it's still there. The only thing that's changed is how you're thinking about it." You see, John had forgotten that his potential didn't expire with age. The skills, wisdom, and experience he had built up over decades were still incredibly valuable. In fact, experience and endurance matter more than energy, which is why people over 50 are twice as likely to succeed in business as those in their 30s. Society may tell you to slow down and retire, but your purpose says something different: reinvent yourself. There's no expiration date on your potential. You just need to stop listening to the old narrative that has been holding you back. When you break through the wall of doubt, delay, and disqualification, the next step is to fully embrace the power of reinvention. This is where everything changes, where your mindset shifts from "I'm too old" or "it's too late" to "I can build something great, right now, with what I have." But reinvention requires a certain mindset. It requires you to think like a builder, not just a worker. A builder is someone who creates value with what they already have. And it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, whether you're 50, 60, or 70, you can always reinvent yourself. The key is to stop waiting for permission and start creating. For example, take Robert, a man I met in North Carolina. He was 62 years old and had just lost his job at a paper plant. With no severance, no savings, and only Social Security, it would have been easy for Robert to give up. But instead of waiting for a handout, he decided to reinvent himself. He started baking pies, his wife's famous sweet potato pies, and sold them to local churches and small markets. At first, it was slow, just one batch at a time, but 5 years later, his pies were on shelves in 5 states. Robert didn't build that business because he was lucky. He built it because he thought like a builder, not an employee. He didn't wait to be picked. He picked himself. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to start a baking business. What I am saying is this: the power of reinvention lies in your ability to take what you know, what you have, and turn it into something new. If Robert could do it with nothing but a recipe and a vision, imagine what you could do with the skills and experience you've accumulated over your lifetime. Reinvention is not about starting over from scratch. It's about applying the lessons you've learned and finding new ways to apply them. You don't need to be young or connected to build something valuable. You don't need to wait for the right time. You just need to start building. Right now. The world may have told you that you're too old to start something new, but I'm here to tell you that your age is your advantage. Your experience, your judgment, and your endurance are worth far more than youthful energy. And as you reinvent yourself, you'll find that the world is waiting for what you have to offer. This doesn't mean it will be easy. There will be challenges along the way. But if you start thinking like a builder, every setback will become an opportunity to learn and grow. The process of reinvention will not only change your career or business, it will change your entire life. Now that we've broken through the wall of doubt and embraced reinvention, the next step is to fully understand the power of the builder's mindset. This shift in perspective is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. The builder's mindset is a mindset of responsibility and action. It is the realization that you are in control of your future, regardless of your circumstances. No one is coming to save you. It's up to you to create the future you want. But here's the catch: if you're waiting for everything to fall into place, you'll never get started. Think about all the people who wait for perfect conditions, the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect timing. But life doesn't wait for perfect moments to happen, it moves forward with or without you. And the people who succeed are the ones who know how to take what they have and create something valuable from it. This is the power of the builder's mindset. It allows you to focus on what you can do today with what you already have. This could be starting a side hustle, learning a new skill, or simply offering your experience and advice to someone who needs it. The builder doesn't sit around waiting for the perfect opportunity. They create opportunities by taking action. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're living in a small town, and there's a clear problem. Maybe it's the lack of quality childcare, or there's no place for people to gather and network. A builder would look at that problem and ask, "What can I do to fix this?" The builder doesn't wait for someone else to solve it. They think, "I'll be the one to create a solution." This is how new businesses are born. This is how movements start. It's not about waiting for someone to give you permission. It's about seeing a need and taking responsibility for it. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it requires a lot of resources or connections. But the truth is, the most successful people are often the ones who start with nothing but an idea and the willingness to work for it. If you think you need a fancy office or investors to start something, think again. The best time to start is always now, with what you have. I've seen people in all kinds of situations build extraordinary things. Some of them started with just an idea and a laptop. Others started with no money, no support, and no plan. But they all shared one thing: the builder's mindset. When you embrace this mindset, you stop seeing obstacles and start seeing opportunities. You stop thinking about what's missing and start thinking about what you can give. The builder's mindset isn't about waiting for the stars to align, it's about making your own path, regardless of the challenges that lie ahead. The first step to becoming a builder is recognizing that you don't need permission to start. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you that you're ready. You are ready right now. And the more you embrace this mindset, the more opportunities will start to open up for you. By now, we've covered the critical elements of the builder's mindset. But there's one thing that can stand between you and your success more than anything else: fear. The fear of failure, the fear of making the wrong choice, or the fear that it's too late for you to make something meaningful out of your life. Let's face it, fear is a constant companion. It whispers in your ear, what if you fail? What if this doesn't work? What if you're wasting your time? These thoughts can paralyze you, keep you stuck, and prevent you from taking the very actions that will propel you forward. But here's the truth: every successful person has faced fear. Every entrepreneur, every innovator, every person who has created something meaningful has felt the weight of fear. The difference is, they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let it hold them back from taking that first step, and they didn't let it stop them after they stumbled. Fear is a natural part of the process. It's not something to avoid, it's something to learn to manage. And here's the key: fear often comes from not knowing what's next. It comes from uncertainty. But here's the reality: no one knows what's next. No one has a perfect roadmap for success. The best you can do is take one step at a time, trusting that you're heading in the right direction. When I started SpaceX, there were so many unknowns. The risk was enormous. We had no guarantee that we would even launch a single rocket successfully. But the difference between us and many others was that we didn't let the fear of failure stop us from trying. And, when we did fail, because we failed many times, we didn't let that stop us either. Failure became part of the process. It was a lesson. Every time something didn't go according to plan, we learned, adapted, and moved forward. The same goes for you. Every time you face fear, don't let it dictate your next move. Instead, face it head-on. Acknowledge it, but don't give it control. Fear is simply your brain's way of telling you that you're about to do something challenging, something that will push you to grow. And that's exactly what you need to do to succeed: grow. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing fear to dictate their actions. They wait for the fear to go away before they act. But the truth is, fear never goes away. It will always be there in some form, lurking around every corner. The key is not to let it dictate your pace. You can move forward despite fear. And once you start moving, you'll realize that fear isn't nearly as big as it seemed when you were stuck. It's normal to feel uncertain. It's normal to be scared. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the ability to move forward anyway. To trust that even if things don't go perfectly, they're still going to be okay. The way I see it, every single day is an opportunity to practice overcoming fear. Every small decision to push forward, even when you're unsure, is a win. And each of those wins will add up to bigger and bigger breakthroughs. As you start thinking like a builder, remember that fear is just a signal to keep going. The more you face it and move forward anyway, the stronger you'll become. Your success is not defined by the absence of fear but by your ability to act despite it. We've covered a lot of ground already: breaking through doubts, embracing the builder's mindset, and facing fear head-on. But there's one final, crucial piece to the puzzle: building your future with purpose and clarity. In all the years I've spent building companies and leading missions, one thing has stood out above all else: the most successful people are those who have a clear sense of purpose. They know what they're working towards, and that clarity drives their every move. Without purpose, even the most talented or hardworking person can end up wandering, unsure of what their next steps should be. But when you have purpose, you have direction. And with that direction, momentum follows. Now, you may be wondering, how do I find my purpose? How do I figure out what I'm meant to build? The truth is, your purpose is not something that you need to wait to discover, it's something you create by deciding what you want to contribute to the world. It's about looking at the problems in your community, the challenges that need solving, and deciding to take action. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you do need to start somewhere. purpose doesn't have to be some grand, life-changing mission right from the beginning. It can start small. Maybe it's solving a problem in your local community or helping someone who's struggling. But once you find that spark, it's like a fire that builds on itself. The more you act with purpose, the clearer your path will become. I've met so many people who feel stuck, like they've missed their chance or that it's too late for them. But the truth is, if you're still alive, you're still becoming. You're still growing, learning, and adapting. Your past does not define your future, your choices do. And the most powerful choice you can make today is to decide to build the future you want. The next step in building your future is to set clear goals and take deliberate actions. It's not enough to simply have an idea or dream. You need a plan. Break down your long-term vision into smaller, manageable steps. Set deadlines for yourself. And then, start working toward them one step at a time. Remember, the key to building anything is consistency. And here's where it all comes full circle. You can't build your future without the builder's mindset. The mindset that says, I am responsible for my success. I will take action, even when it's uncomfortable. I will keep going even when I feel fear. This is the mindset that separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's not about waiting for permission. It's not about having perfect conditions. It's about choosing to start right where you are and building what you can with what you have. Every time you choose to move forward, no matter how small the step, you are creating your future. You are building it. And as you build, you will attract the people, opportunities, and resources that will help you get to the next level. Now, it's time to take everything we've discussed and put it into action. Set your goals, make your plan, and start building today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for permission. Start now. And when you do, I want you to remember one thing: your future is yours to create. No one else can do it for you. The world is waiting on you to build the life you were meant to live, and there is no better time to start than right now.